What's going on, guys? We are back today, standing again. I like standing. Makes me feel like my blood's flowing. Makes me feel like my brain's working a little bit better than it typically does. Today I wanted to talk about not five, but six things that I wish I knew before I started Jiu Jitsu. And as a newly promoted blue belt, did you hear that? Blue belt. I am the authority on all things jiu-jitsu. I'm invincible, absolutely unstoppable. So feel free to take everything I say as gospel. Rowan, insert picture here of me getting promoted. So I've been training for 2 years now, give or take. Started with judo and then moved over to full-time jiu-jitsu probably 8 months after I started. I was doing hybrid training for a while where 2 days a week was judo and 2 days a week was jiu-jitsu. And now I do full-time jiu-jitsu. Repping the gym today. Shout out Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. The first thing I wish I knew before starting jiu-jitsu is that I should have just started. I should not have delayed at all. I told myself for probably 3 years that I was going to start doing jiu-jitsu. And then one day I finally decided to do it. And if I had done it when I said that I was going to start, I would be so much better. I would have, my skills would be way more refined than they are right now. So if you're even thinking about it, Google gyms in your area, read their reviews, go try out a couple of them and see which one best fits with your personality and just go. The second thing I wish I knew before I started is that you're going to be so much worse than you could ever imagine. I didn't wrestle in high school. I never boxed with my friends or anything like that. So for a long time, everybody just folded me in half. Everyone was choking me from every angle. Arm bars, kimuras, Americanas, everything. Like, I still get tossed around pretty good. I'm 5'5" and I weigh 155 pounds. But if you have no combat sport background, you're going to be way worse than you could ever imagine. If you come from a dancing background, like classical dance, or a gymnastics background, that gives you a really, really good leg up because you've got that spatial awareness of how your body moves. But other than that, you're screwed for a while. The third thing that I wish I knew before I started is that other people probably are going to progress faster than you. There are people that will start at either the exact same time as you or couple weeks, couple months after, and for some people, things just make sense. And it's going to suck really bad because you're going to be there with your white belt with 2 stripes on it or 3 stripes on it or whatever, and they're going to be tying you in knots, submitting you from every single angle, and that's just part of the journey. Find joy in the journey. Water break. So the fourth thing that I wish I knew before I started is that you'll have good days and you'll have bad days. It's like learning every other new skill that you can imagine. Some days it's going to make more sense than others. Literally, the only other thing that I can equate it to in my life is literally learning a second language. Like, some days you're in this context where you're learning a new language, some days you're going to know more words. Freaking Snapchat going off. So the fourth thing that I wish I knew before I started is that you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. You know, some days the rolls are going to feel really good, and then you'll get on the mat the next day and it's all going to seem so foreign. The only other thing that I can equate it to, even being similar, is learning a whole nother language. There are days when you're learning a language that the words, the grammar, the slang seems to come to mind way faster, or you're just speaking and it comes out. And other days where it just doesn't make sense. And that's kind of how it feels for the first 2 or 3 or 6 months that you're doing it. And another thing that is good to remember is that it's not a competition with those around you, as it is more just a competition with yourself. I remember I was probably 3 or 4 months in, and I asked one of my first coaches if we could start doing private lessons, and he said yes, but asked me what specifically I wanted to work on. And I told him, oh, well, you know, there are all these people in the gym that I feel shouldn't be as good as me, but they keep catching these, whatever, I'll say head and arms, because I got caught in head and arm chokes for a really, really long time, because I like to swim, like to keep my arms out really freaking wide, and that does not work. But he told me that until I had specific things that I had to work on, the thing that I needed to do the most was just keep showing up. And he reminded me that the athlete that I was at 4 months could probably wipe the floor with the person that I was when I walked in the door the first time, which is completely true. The fifth thing that I wish that I knew before I started was that when you're injured, when you're hurt, you need to let yourself fully recover. If you got little tweaks in your shoulders, tweaks in your lower back, your neck's a little bit, whatever, don't risk the injury. If you go and you train while you're hurt and you stand up weird, or you're training with someone who's not very experienced, they could snap you down hard or crank your neck weird and make it so much worse. And then you end up spending even more time off of the mat than you would have if you had just taken those 2 or 3 days off to completely recover. So yeah, I mean, when I first started, I fell. This was before I started jiu-jitsu. I fell and I smacked my head and seized like my trap all the way up to the back of my ear, and it kept flaring up for a while, and then it flared up one time. We were working like guillotines or something, and it flared up, and I was like, oh, that kind of hurts, but I'm still going to go. And I went and got just my neck cranked on for 2 hours. Surprise, surprise. I was out for like 2 weeks because I could move my head this way, but I could not move my head this way. And so, moral of the story, if you're injured, stay off of the mats. The sixth thing is the hygiene that comes with jiu-jitsu. I'm a very clean person. I've always been a very clean person, but just kind of as a rule of thumb, jiu-jitsu's a gross thing. You know, especially if you're in no-gi, your skin is sliding on other people's exposed skins. If you're in gi, then hold on. If you're in a gi, then you've got these rags that just hold on to moisture, they hold on to smell, they hold on to bacteria. And it can get so nasty. So I don't know who needs to hear this out there, but wash your stuff every single freaking time that you use it. Don't wear a rash guard twice in a row. Wash your gi every single time you use it. Shower when you get home. Clip your freaking fingernails. Wear deodorant. Brush your teeth. Wear flip-flops off the mat. Don't go to the bathroom with bare feet. Like, it seems very, very self-explanatory and obvious, but you'd be surprised. And word to the wise, if you stink, people don't want to roll with you. If your fingernails are long, you're going to cut people, and people get pissed. Rightfully so. Like, I don't want to go have my first roll be with someone that cuts my tricep or the back of my neck, or their toenails cut my leg, and then I'm risking rolling for another 90 minutes with a open wound. So just keep that in mind. Be courteous to those around you. Be hygienic. Kind of do unto others as you would have done unto you. You don't want to roll with stinky people, so don't be the gross person in the gym. But, so, yep, that's it. 6 things I wish I knew before I started jiu-jitsu. I love it. I'm obsessed. I will do it for the rest of my life. And yeah, that's about it.